women. This morning, my guest to help us delve more into this discussion is the long lost Dr. Bote. He's a medical doctor at the Ridge Hospital, and he's been missing here on NewDay for a while. Welcome back, Doc.
Thank you.
Where have you been? We've missed you.
I was in the States.
Okay.
I was on vacation, so
I see.
it takes
Wow.
some of the pressure off.
Ah, that's good. That's good. It's always good to, take some time off and relax. Anyway, you're welcome back. Welcome back to NewDay.
Thank you.
And this morning we're looking at Down syndrome. I personally, I feel like a lot of time we kind of interchange or confuse Down syndrome with autism, especially in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Is this a correct conception?
Yes, it's true. We usually think autistic children are Down syndrome children, but there's a clear difference between the two. Down syndrome is basically a genetic problem, something that has got to do with the abnormality with the chromosomes of the baby that was born. But a Down syndrome child can also have autism, because for Down syndrome children, they usually have mental difficulties as well, mental problems as well. So a Down syndrome child can have autism in addition. Okay. But you can have a normal child who didn't have Down syndrome from birth or that genetic problem, but may also have autism as a different issue altogether. So the difference between the autism and Down syndrome is that autism can stand on its own without Down syndrome, but a Down syndrome child can also have autism.
Okay. Now let's talk about what exactly Down syndrome is. When we talk about Down syndrome, what is it?
Down syndrome is actually a genetic problem that results in physical characteristics of a newborn that is totally different from what a normal newborn would have. And
such as?
I'll come to that. And it's actually because of, unfortunately, having 3 chromosomes at a particular position in the person's genetic makeup instead of the normal 2 chromosomes.
Which
now,
is
every
X and Y.
Yes, everybody, your cells has 23 pairs of chromosomes. So if you take any cell in your body, you're supposed to have 23 pairs of chromosomes, which makes 46. The last 23, the 23rd pair is what we call the sex chromosomes. So that's what makes somebody a male or a female.
The sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we call the sex chromosome X and Y, or X and X. X and X making the person female, and X and Y making the person male. The other 22 from position 1 to 22, we call them autosomes. They are not sex chromosomes, they are autosomes. So at the position 21, the 21st pair of chromosomes, unfortunately for those who have this Down syndrome, instead of having 2 chromosomes at that position like that, there is an extra chromosome in addition to the pair. So this person, instead of having 46 chromosomes, that is the 46 with the X and Y, rather has 47 chromosomes. So in other words, it's an abnormal state of being in the human form is an abnormal number of chromosomes. The person has an extra 1 chromosome.
What causes this?
Yeah, that's the big question. And what causes this? The cause is actually not known, but then we've been able to figure out statistically where it is most common in terms of distribution and who is likely to get Down syndrome. And it's realized that even though it can occur at any age for a woman who is going to deliver, the incidence is higher for those who are 35 years, 40 years, and 45 years and above. The incidence is higher in that region of giving birth. Why is that? It's the possibility is this, that now for a woman, when you are born, you have all your eggs intact. Men are producing sperms every now and then, every day. If there's any excess, the body can take care of it. But he keeps producing sperms all the time. But for a woman, when you are born, if you have you are having your period 12 times in a year, so that's 12 a year. If you should have start your menarche from, let's say, age 12, and you are having your menopause around age 50, then you are looking at about 30 or 40 years of having a period every month. So you have about 12 eggs in a year times let's say 40 years, so you're having about, let's say, 480 or let's say 500 eggs. All these eggs are intact when you are born. It's in your ovaries, right?
All these 500?
They are there. So they are there, and then you keep releasing each one 12 every month, and that is made from the age of your menarche or your puberty, one at a time. So it means that the eggs that you release in your early years are sort of not as old as the eggs that you release when you are 45.
What does that mean?
Exactly. So it means that at the age of 45, the egg you are releasing is about 45 years old.
Oh my
You
God!
understand?
Okay, that's what I mean.
And when you are early 20s, your egg is let's say 20 years old.
So
this egg is
the younger eggs are better than
when you have grown older. So the chances of you having problems with childbirth or defects or chromosomal or genetic abnormalities, it increases with your older age when you are getting older.
That's why older women get all these complications with childbirth.
So in the formation of a child, you know that half of his chromosomes come from the father, half also from the mother. Now the problem with Down syndrome is usually with the woman, because the man will produce his, but maybe so a man, everybody has two. The man has two. The woman has two. So the man would remove one and give it to the woman. The woman will also remove one and they form the baby. Now the man would have given his one, but probably the cell division in the woman to give the one may be faulty. So instead of a half coming, a whole pair may come.
And so this is faulty due to the old age that we just talked about, the eggs being too old.
Exactly. There is age related. So you may end up having 3 chromosomes, 1 from the man, 2 from the woman.
So is that extra chromosome that causes
all the defects that you see in the child?
What are some of these defects? These usually occur after delivery, right? As soon as the child is born. Is that correct?
Yes. When you classically see a Down syndrome baby at birth, you would know. It's usually a diagnosis you make by physical examination. And
immediately, or does it take a few months or even years?
Even weeks, you will just notice it. I mean,
give us some examples.
Exactly. When you have a child with Down syndrome, they have features from the head to the toe. So usually the head, they have a flat occiput. The back of the head usually flat, what we call conti.
Some people just have flat heads.
Right. But you see, the reason why we call something a syndrome is that it's not only one thing. Syndrome means that a number of things. So you take everything in tandem, not just one thing.
In isolation.
So, not the fact that somebody has flat occiput doesn't mean he has Down syndrome. But if he has flat occiput, and the face is usually flat, this nasal bridge is usually flat. You can have people with this flat nasal bridge, but they are not Down syndrome, right? But it comes with other things. So the
flat head,
the flat nose, flat face,
bridge,
the flat nasal bridge, and then sometimes you see that in their mouth, the roof of the mouth is narrower, and their tongue is usually bigger than normal. So they usually cannot even keep their tongues in there. So they usually would having protruding tongue all the time, and because of that they keep their mouth open, and sometimes they may be drooling saliva along the sides. Their eyes have unique features as well. They have this thing we call the iris, the black of the eye. If it's a black man, usually black of the eye, but if it's maybe an European, the eye may be blue, green, whatever color. But they have this, you see whitish streaks in the color. If it's a blue eye or black eye, you see these whitish streaks all over, like something round with white streaks in there. We call them brush-filled spots in the eye, and that is one of the things that would happen with the eye. And therefore they have other eye problems like cataracts. They develop other eye problems. And then their ear, the ear of this child, for example, if I should move my hand backwards, I can easily hit my ear. But for the children who are Down syndrome, their ear has a recessive gene, and the father too has a recessive gene. And during the division, it's the recessive of the father and the recessive of the mother that met. So
okay, this is a very, very interesting area. I think we'll have to bring you back to go into a full-blown discussion on this. I saw it on social media, but I thought it was just one of those things. It wasn't real. And now you're saying that it's real.
Exactly. Sure thinking,
I was amazed. So we'll have to come back to that on a full discussion. Okay. But finally, just to wrap up on this, babies or children or even adults with Down syndrome, are they able to have a full, normal, fulfilled life?
No, they are usually very happy children. Yeah, but
yes, you see that.
Yeah, they are always smiling and happy. But they have extreme mental disabilities. They have a lot of medical problems from the heart, congenital heart disease. A lot of them have had heart problems, tetralogy of Fallot, and all the heart problems, defect in the heart, like holes in the heart, etc. They have other hormonal problems, endocrine problems. They have GIT problems. They get constipated because when they are born, their muscle tone is usually very weak.
I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot here before you go. Now, you mentioned that when it's detected earlier or diagnosed earlier, for example during pregnancy, you're able to make the decision to terminate it. what is your opinion on this? Do you think you should have a child with Down syndrome come in the world and live with all these conditions that you're talking about, not be able to have a full, satisfied... Exactly. Wow. Feel free not to answer. Feel free to say.
I think this one, the decision really has to die with the couple. They need to be counseled on all these things, the likelihood of they having, these children usually have blood cancer, leukemia, sometimes they even have testicular cancers. And mind you, male Down syndrome children cannot reproduce. They are sterile. So
but the female can?
The female can.
Wow.
But even their fertility is low.
Okay.
So you take all these things into consideration, and as somebody said on the social media, like he said he would want to love them the way. So it basically depends on the couple and what they want.
Okay, thank you so much for your time this morning, Dr. Bote. It's very good to see you again. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of you since you're back from your vacation. But this morning on the Health Club, we've been talking about Down syndrome, and I think the what's run through the whole discussion is the fact that you should have your children earlier on in life to be able to avoid a lot of these complications. So yes, to the women out there, have your kids early. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this segment.